Hey, it's Chaya, and I'm back with another episode of Naked, the Messy Middle Edition. Today I had in mind to talk to you about how you lose weight and you keep it off permanently. But I'm going to actually put that on pause for now because something bigger came up, something that I need to share, and something that I know is so life-altering for me, and it may just be for you. And I don't know how to term it yet or what I'm going to label this as, but I'm going to head right into it, and I'm sure we'll figure it out. So you see, I'm trying to think how we're gonna describe this. Okay, so earlier this year, I was in group therapy. I was in the first time I ever went to group therapy, and now looking back, group is really the time where you reenact your first group that you were ever in, which is your family. And you act the way you did then, and you assume that they'll act the way they did then. And unless you let them, they will act the way they did then. But even if you let them, sometimes they'll act like the group you know originally, like the people you know originally, and I'll explain that very well in a second. So you see, I went, and when things got hard, and I felt unwanted and unchosen for various reasons, I left. It was very hard for me to. First, I left within myself. I just couldn't connect to the group. I felt unwanted, and I just didn't want to connect to anyone. But then I left actually the group. It was at the end of the group already, and I didn't want to share, and I felt like I had to, and I just didn't want to, so I left. And I remember making a video then that I would really love to find and watch, because to see how different it is from then to now. But I left, and after that, I skipped the next week, and I gave myself some time because other stuff were going on, like, oh my god, like hellfire, crazy stuff were going on. I just felt like I need to put it on the back burner for a minute, but I also felt like I wanted to deal with it, so I decided I would go back and talk to everyone like an adult. And I came back, and it felt like I needed to apologize for being overwhelmed when, like, I didn't get mad at anyone, I didn't anything, it was the end of group anyway, like, I left. For those of you who don't know, group is a very sacred place. A lot of people share very personal and confidential stuff, and yeah, and I understand that leaving can be really intense for people, but for me, what it felt like, it almost felt unfair, of like I need to beg for my place back, and I just wasn't going to do that because that was crazy. So I left. After that day, I pretty much said my goodbye, and I left. And it was hard. It was really hard. I left feeling this empty feeling of like I'm not wanted, and like, but I decided to just keep moving, and I'd be fine. And I was fine, and I am fine. And I actually went to another group, a different group, a completely different one. And before starting, I knew that this might come up. I just didn't have any idea how, when, and what we would be dealing with. But today I do know. See, today I had that feeling again. For the last few weeks, I wanted to do my piece, which is like a piece of work that you do in front of everyone, where you basically openly talk about your feelings, and really go to the hardest, most craziest parts of your life, the parts you never look at, and we work it through, and the whole group is there as witnesses, and it really helps the whole healing process. It's insane. If you haven't done it before, I really suggest, in the proper group, I think you can do amazing work, so I really suggest you do your research and check it out. But yeah, so, and this specific group that I go to is a psychodrama group, which is mind-blowing. And it's hard for me to talk because, like, I feel like it's hard for me to be proud, but I want to be proud, and I want to share that. And maybe if the only thing you take out of this is pride, is that there is such a thing as healthy pride, I think that's good enough. How to have a healthy pride, I think I would say it. And how to have healthy pride is being able to look at what you've been through and do what I'm about to do right now. So when I talk about this other part of me comes up and it starts saying, like, you cannot be proud. Like, okay, moment's over. Have you ever had that as a kid where, like, okay, so, like, how long are you going to talk about that already? It's already been, like, 2 weeks. Who cares? We cry about the same thing forever, so we're allowed to be proud about the same thing forever. Like, it should be equal, but growing up, after a half hour or an hour, it was like, just shut up already, right? So right now, I'm so proud of how I behaved, and I'm having a really hard time staying in the proud because, well, because I feel like, so move on already. Let's make more stuff to be proud of. But I won't do that if I'm not proud of myself. So I'm going to be proud right now. I'm going to sit with it. And why I'll be proud is because of this. Tonight I got the same feeling. Tonight I got a crazy sense of deja vu. In fact, I left. I left in the middle, not at the end. I went to the bathroom. I sat there. And they knocked on the door. The facilitator had, the group therapist had another, like a understudy with her for these purposes. And she knocked on the door and she said, "Hey, Chaya." And I said, "I'll be out in a couple of minutes." And in those few minutes, I gave myself permission to feel every feeling I was feeling, literally. And I reached out to my support, my 3 main support. I reached out to them. One did not answer. One answered right away. My trusty, loyal fiance. Amazing. And the other said they'll be available soon, which made me know, like, I have in the future, I'll be able to have a phone call with one of my team. And in that moment, I realized maybe this group didn't yet feel like group to me, like my group, like a place where I feel safe. Maybe. But I have a group. I have a support. And they're there. And they'll hold me too. And in that moment, I became okay. I became okay if they choose me, if they don't choose me. I became okay with not feeling wanted, feeling wanted. In fact, I became okay with the scary thought that went through my head: what if I'm kicked out of group because I just left and I really don't want to be kicked out of group. I want to stay because I like it. And I think there's a lot of learning to be done. But in that moment, I became okay with everything. And I walked back into group and I looked at everyone and I just smiled when they looked me in the eye, and I looked at them like, yeah, you know what it's all about. We're doing hard work here. And in fact, when I had the opportunity to share, I was open. I said, it's hard for me to share because I left, but it's a really big corrective experience for me to be able to come back and be accepted, and no one fight me and no one give me a bad feeling. So I wanted to share that today because it feels right to share a proud moment, one of my wins, one of the moments that I'm most proud of, a moment where I did it different. Maybe 3-4 months ago, I had the same story and I did it different. There I walked out and I closed the door for good. Here, I walked out and I opened the door. In fact, I opened it more than I ever have before, and I walked right through it. That's what it feels like. And I'm making this about pride because I have a real hard time being proud. And my best bet is, on some level, you do too. And I'm here to share with you that it's okay. Look how I'm holding both. And right now as I talk, I feel like that part of me is like, hello, just shut up already. Stop talking. And I'm just like, no, I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep being proud because I deserve it. But I get it. You think I can't be proud because of our past? I'm here to tell you, you could be proud. Nothing happened. It's okay. You're allowed to. I hope that some of that was coherent to you and somehow applicable to you. Sometimes I feel like I have this urge and I just let it take over because I don't know what you need to hear. I just know that if there's anything in my words that move you, I want to use all the words I possibly can so that it might just hit that mark it's supposed to. And I want to let the angels speak through me. So I hope they did now, and I hope that it helped move you along in your process. All right, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys soon.